Today we explore a fascinating paradox that has puzzled many for centuries. Can laziness actually be a hidden form of superior intelligence? In a bustling village filled with hard-working farmers, there lived a young boy named Elias, known far and wide for his idleness. The villagers constantly whispered about him, labeling him useless because he refused to sweat and struggle like the rest of them did. However, what the villagers failed to see was that Elias possessed a mind that was constantly racing, seeking efficient solutions to problems. Every harvest season, the farmers would exhaust themselves running across the vast fields, shouting and waving to keep the hungry birds away. Elias, unwilling to run, devised a system of wooden poles connected by ropes, allowing him to scare the birds without moving. With a simple tug of his finger, he created a cacophony of noise that protected the crops more effectively than any runner. His father, Thomas, worried deeply about his son's laziness, yet he could not scold him because the work was always finished. But life is unpredictable. A harsh winter, followed by a terrible storm, destroyed the harvest, plunging the entire village into deep poverty. To make matters worse, Thomas fell gravely ill. Without money for medicine or food, Elias felt the crushing weight of his helplessness. Desperate for a solution, Elias wandered into the village square just as a royal herald arrived to announce a grand competition. The king was looking for the most capable young men. The prize was a heavy chest of gold, enough to save his family. Igniting a fire within him, Elias decided to participate. He knew this was his only chance to cure his father and survive. The villagers mocked him loudly, shouting that a boy who refused to chase birds could never compete against the kingdom's strongest warriors. Ignoring their cruel words, Elias focused on his goal. The journey to the palace was long, but his mind was already planning. Upon arrival, he saw his opponents. They were giants with bulging muscles, training intensely, relying entirely on their physical strength to win. The king appeared on the high balcony, silencing the crowd. He announced that the challenges would test not just strength, but capability. The first challenge was daunting. The competitors had to cross a vast, deep lake to reach the other side as quickly as possible. At the signal, the strong men dived in immediately, thrashing against the water, using every ounce of energy to propel themselves forward. Elias did not dive. He knew his stamina was low, and he would drown if he tried to compete with their physical speed. Instead of swimming, he quickly gathered dry branches and vines, using his knowledge of knots to construct a small, buoyant raft. While others were already halfway, exhausting themselves fighting the current, Elias launched his raft and began to paddle with steady, rhythmic strokes. Soon the swimmers began to tire. Their heavy muscles weighed them down, while Elias glided effortlessly over the water, overtaking the exhausted leaders. He reached the finish line third, qualifying for the next round while saving his energy, leaving the crowd stunned by his unconventional method. The second challenge was brutal, requiring the remaining contestants to move a massive, square wooden block across a long and rugged stone path. The strong men immediately wrapped ropes around the blocks, straining their backs and legs to drag the heavy weight against the high friction. Elias realized that dragging a square object over rough stones was a waste of energy. He needed to change the nature of the problem. He sat down, pulled out a small knife and axe, and began chipping away at the sharp corners of the heavy wooden block. The spectators laughed, thinking he had given up. Why would anyone waste precious time carving wood instead of moving it toward the finish line? But Elias worked with precision. Slowly, the square block lost its edges, transforming into a rough sphere that could interact differently with the ground. Meanwhile, the other competitors were only halfway there, their strength completely drained by the friction and the immense weight of the dragging blocks. With the block now shaped into a rough sphere, Elias simply pushed it gently, watching it roll effortlessly toward the finish line. He ran behind his rolling creation, passing the exhausted warriors one by one, moving with speed and ease that seemed almost magical to them. Elias crossed the finish line first, barely out of breath. The king stood and applauded, recognizing that true strength lies in the mind. He secured the chest of gold, proving to everyone that a sharp mind is often far more valuable than the strongest muscles alone. Elias returned to his village a hero. He bought the best medicine for his father and food for the entire starving community. Thomas recovered fully, his health restored. He looked at his son with immense pride, finally understanding the value of Elias's unique nature. Elias didn't stop there. He taught the villagers his methods, showing them how to use leverage and mechanics to make their work easier. The village prospered like never before. The lazy boy had transformed their lives, proving that efficiency is the ultimate form of hard work. The story of Elias teaches us a powerful lesson. Laziness, when combined with purpose, can become the mother of all great inventions. Smart people often find the easiest way to achieve a goal, but to achieve greatness, they need a strong why to drive them. For Elias, the love for his father turned his desire for comfort into a relentless drive to solve problems and win against odds. So next time you seek an easier way, remember, it is not about avoiding work, but about finding a smarter path to success. True intelligence is the ability to adapt, to innovate, and to turn the impossible into the effortless through the power of thought. May you find your own clever ways to overcome the mountains in your life, turning heavy burdens into rolling stones of opportunity. Thank you for watching this tale of wit and wisdom on the Ancient Academy. Subscribe now for more stories of hidden genius. Don't forget to like and share this video if you believe in working smarter, not harder. Until next time, keep thinking differently.